FKA Twigs is a singer and a songwriter from London. While she began her career as a backup dancer for musicians like Ed Sheeran, Jessie J, Kylie Minogue, and Tayo Cruz, she quickly found an interest in making her own music. Working closely with producers like Arca, Twigs started releasing EPs in 2012 and later an album in 2014. Her early work cemented her as one of the most interesting pop singers in the industry, thanks to her debut record's mix of R&B and electronic styles. 5 years and a lot of life experience later, Twigs dropped Magdalene in November of 2019. The album was immediately received as one of the best releases of the year, a beautiful and personal record from an artist who had largely spent the last 4+ years in hiding. In this video, I'm going to dive into a specific song off of Twigs' latest album and look at her lyrical techniques and what her songwriting tells us about her. Let's get into it. This video is sponsored by CuriosityStream. You can also get access to my streaming video service Nebula when you sign up for CuriosityStream using the link in the description below. Magdalene is a cohesive album. It tells one large story, using individual songs to build on a singular theme of heartbreak. And furthermore, the album presents an isolated form of self-examination through the lens of womanhood and its relationship to the search for strength and healing, especially on songs like Sad Day and the title track, Mary Magdalene. And so for the majority of Magdalene's 38-minute runtime, there's a powerful sense of solitude and isolation, as you listen to Twigs put herself back together after a broken relationship, finding a new sense of strength and confidence. This is even communicated in the album's artwork, which features an artistic depiction of Twigs with exaggerated muscle definition and a more masculine bone structure. And by the way, if you're interested in winning this copy of the vinyl, you can go follow at Volksgeist on Instagram after the video and check out my most recent post for instructions on how to win this copy of Magdalene. But back to the video. There's a particularly notable track around the middle of the album that goes against the grain, providing a change of pace. And while on one level its purpose may be to keep the listener invested in the minimalistic production that accompanies Twigs throughout the album, shaking things up with a trap beat from Skrillex, Jack Antonoff, and Kenny Beats. On the other hand, I see this song's narrative as unique and perhaps even essential to the story that Twigs set out to tell on Magdalene. The song I'm talking about is Holy Terrain, the record's 4th track, which features legendary Atlanta rapper Future on its hook, chorus, and final verse as Twigs' interlocutor and hopeful lover. Now, I remember when the song came out, people didn't actually like it that much, with even Anthony Fantano calling it a disappointment in his track review. But despite its critics, I think Holy Terrain is a fascinating collaboration that wouldn't have been complete without Future's verse. Future starts Holy Terrain with a bang, diving into the trap-inspired beat with a sing-songy melodic verse about inner conflict. He opens with a reference to selling cocaine, but it's not a literal statement. Rather, Future unfurls a surprising metaphor. He mentions making $100,000 off a brick of coke. But as we all know, a brick of coke isn't worth nearly that much in the real world. Instead, Future is referencing how his music has used the idea of dealing drugs to make him far wealthier than he would have ever been as a real drug dealer. But that doesn't exonerate him, because in his eyes, the sin of promoting drug use within his music is next to the sin of selling the drugs themselves. And so Future sends his lover to pay tithes at church with some of his drug money, out of fear of judgment from God. Now, tithes, of course, are voluntary financial contributions given to the church, but they're not given in exchange for any sort of forgiveness or salvation. Rather, tithes serve as a way for believers to use generosity to remain grounded during their earthly pursuits and help resist the ever-present pull of greed on the human soul. But Future confuses this concept with the idea that giving tithes to the church can grant him some sort of salvation. He references a fear of judgment from God with the line, "Told her pay my tithes, think the devil coming." This seemingly simple intro from Future shows us exactly what his purpose will be throughout the song. He's playing the part of an imperfect man who has dark secrets, but he also exhibits moral discernment, and he wants to prove himself to Twigs. Twigs takes up the next 2 verses alone, first laying out what she expects from her lover with colorful similes and romantic imagery. But more than shallow dating, she wants someone who she can depend on, a man who cares about her for who she is, and will continue to care when the waters get choppy. She moves into the chorus by ending the verse in the middle of a thought. She's ready to love, but only if her partner is worthy of it. And this interesting technique of a seamless transition between pre-chorus and chorus makes the song feel far less structured than it is. And so, Holy Terrain's chorus picks up where Twigs left off just a moment ago. We learn that she expects a man to put down his materialistic, masculine tendencies and be open with her. She needs him to follow his heart, even if it doesn't come easy. Future sings quietly in the background, promising his dedication to Twigs as she warns him that he must work hard to earn her trust. Moving forward into the second verse, the song's instrumental takes a quiet backseat while Twigs drops a dense package of metaphors. She first uses the color blue to illustrate her prudence during periods of solitude, and the color pink to describe her warmth and femininity once she finds someone to open up to. And it's here that FKA Twigs is out of new verses, choosing to repeat her pre-chorus and chorus from before with small variations that imply a newfound level of comfortability with her lover. In the pre-chorus, she changes its second line from implying a future state of intimacy with the words, "Once my fruits are for taking, and you flow through my veins," to "Now my fruits are for taking, and your fingers are stained," implying that their relationship has progressed to a new level of familiarity. The third line in the pre-chorus is changed as well, flipping its similes upside down. Before, Twigs used rain to illustrate sorrow. Now, flames imply an erotic connection. The chorus runs once more, this time with extra vocals from Future, before moving into Future's full verse, which also happens to be the longest verse on the song, taking up the last third of the track. While Future's verse is vague, bordering on the abstract, his vocal delivery conveys devotion and adoration. And to me, the song wouldn't be complete without this sequence. Future's singing is so expressive, it just doesn't matter what he's saying. The emotion in his voice communicates his intention to offer himself to Twigs. While this style of emotional sing-rapping is a trademark of the mumble rap subgenre Future pioneered earlier in the 2010s, its effect here is powerful. And as Future's verse comes to an end, he focuses his words for one final statement. But this time he's thinking about himself. He sings of his hope that Twigs will pray for him, to prove she wants him to heal himself from his darkness and addiction. He believes her prayer would be symbolic of her devotion to him, and only then will he be able to reject his sin and immerse himself in love. There are a few different interesting things to look at on Holy Terrain. Most importantly, it's the first time in FKA Twigs' career that she's ever put a feature on a song. And naturally, she didn't do it in a predictable or lazy way. The dialogue between Twigs and Future is intense and personal, and I can say for sure that it's one of the most intentional features I've ever heard. The two artists made full use of their chemistry in creating a song that tells a vivid story about a connection between two people. Or rather, since Future and FKA Twigs aren't dating in real life, they created a fictitious dynamic composited from their own separate desires for love. And Future's reputation as one of the darkest, most tormented rappers in the game only adds to the song's themes of love as a tool for healing. Twigs actually spoke about this in an interview last year. She said, "I sent him the album and I called him up, and I was like, Future, listen, this is what my album's about. It's an empowering, sensitive record with a lot of feminine energy, and this song is probably the most fun track on it, but I still need lyrical content." And he said, "Okay, I've got it." And his verse is beautiful, she said. He's just talking about his downfalls as a man, how he's sorry and asking for healing. She said, "I love sad Future. I love when he gets emo and expresses himself. It's just beautiful when he opens up." FKA Twigs began her career as someone in the background, literally as a dancer in other people's music videos. But she's come a long way since then, putting out some of the most powerful pop music of the last 10 years. But she's never collaborated with another singer before, not until now. And in the end, I see this collaboration as a new step in FKA Twigs' music. In creating such a personal dialogue between her and another artist, she's opening a new door for future music to reach even deeper and come back even stronger than it was before. And in the end, Magdalene is an album about the pain and isolation of heartbreak. And Holy Terrain is a song that tears that down, using a variety of techniques to tell the story of a romantic connection between two lovers. And in a way, Future takes on the role that Twigs plays for much of Magdalene, a broken person seeking their lover's approval and trust. Whereas on so much of Magdalene, Twigs takes the part of someone desperately seeking love and attention, on songs like Cellophane and Mirrored Heart especially, the tables are turned on Holy Terrain. Twigs is confident and strong, and she is the judge while Future pleads his case. In short, she's the character on the album's artwork, a broken mess made whole and strong again. Any longtime Volksgeist viewer has heard of CuriosityStream. CuriosityStream is the streaming service home to thousands of documentaries and nonfiction titles about history, technology, nature, science, and more. They present one of the best streaming deals available at just $19.99 a year or $3 a month. But now this deal has gotten even better, because when you sign up for a yearly subscription with CuriosityStream, you'll also get access to Nebula for free. And you can get a free trial to both of these services for a month by following the link in the description. Nebula is a streaming site that I myself am involved with building. New Volksgeist videos go up on there completely ad-free before I put them on YouTube. But more importantly, the thing that makes Nebula special are the originals. For example, my good friend Polyphonic has a fantastic Nebula original series about Led Zeppelin, and who knows, maybe there will even be a Volksgeist Nebula original out soon, say in the next month or so. And lots of your favorite creators are already on Nebula, like Mr. Amazing, Middle 8, Polyphonic, Tearzoo, the list goes on and on. By signing up for Nebula, you'll be supporting the educational creator community, regardless of whether or not YouTube continues to support what we do. And as we all know, nothing is guaranteed when it comes to that. So sign up for a yearly subscription to CuriosityStream and enjoy their programming, as well as all that Nebula has to offer for less than $20 for the whole year.